Hiya! She's Kate Lavagna.
And she's Kaysha Louvain. And this is Tea for Two.
Us you on a brew.
And Sheldon.
Hello.
The Rapper.
Hey! We are joined by Sheldon The Rapper, and we're very excited. We've been outdone by merch today. I'm a bit jealous.
I know.
We thought we had it down. We got a teapot. We've got like a tiny violin, a tiny cheese grater, a sugar thing, a milk thing. No. Sheldon waltzes in with merch, t-shirts, a massive painting, which we'll get onto. I was like, well, there we are then. Somebody's won. All right.
And the fact that the colour scheme.
Well, that's my colour scheme. If you look at all my album artwork, everything, it's always been black, grey, white, and pink. Pink is, I love the colour pink.
Great.
I love it.
And you asked for a hairy man to come on.
I literally said, we need a hairy man.
Down Sheldon came.
Sheldon just entered into the room / also our messages. What do you call it? Inbox.
DMs.
The DMs. Slid into the DMs as
All
if he
right.
knew. As if he knew. And I got all embarrassed, and I said, "Oh, there's a rapper who wants to come on. Does this mean we're going to be way cooler now because we've had a rapper on?"
No, it depends on the rapper. No, it depends on the rapper.
So, all right, tell us who you are, what you do, where you came from.
I'm Sheldon The Rapper. I'm originally from Llandilo, which is in West Wales.
Say that again.
Llandilo.
Oh, I love the name of Llandilo.
Llandilo is nice, isn't it?
Brilliant. I needed it. It's a brilliant name. Carry on.
Right, and it's when I was 6, I moved to London, and I'm going to give you a really quick synopsis of my life here. So when I was 9, 10, I was quite badly bullied in school. I think it was probably an ADHD thing, but also I was the foreign kid in my class. I had a weird name. I know that sounds crazy in London. You just wouldn't even think about it. But I was the kid with a squeaky Welsh accent. Oh, let me help, I want to play. Can I play games? I'd be like, I'm from Llandilo. I miss my mammy. And so my dad took me out of school and I was homeschooled. I went cycling around Mongolia and America with my dad. We went wild camping all over the place.
Awesome. Oh my God, that's so cool.
And I went touring on my own when I was 21 in America with a guitar. I used to play folk music, but I also do. But the rap had already started for me as well, and I've been playing the drums since I was 14.
Yes,
Kate is really happy.
A big, hairy, testosterone man drummer. I literally couldn't be any happier.
So yeah, and then I just I moved back to Wales when I was 26, and I started teaching. I started working as a youth worker. And then I hadn't rapped for a while, and I was just rapping. I was just doing it with some of the kids. I was just actually I was kind of showing off a bit, I suppose. And some of the other young people there were like, "Oh, we'd want to rap." So I started teaching them, and then that led on to I DJ as well. But it led on to my career I teach in schools. I teach literacy through music with Gwent Music and through a company called Beat Technique. I go into different schools and I teach rap and lyric writing to schools so they can think about English differently. So there's no rules. Like I go in and I say, "Get out of the way, teacher," and I'm like, "Forget the rules. The rules don't matter. You need to say what you need to say, and it doesn't matter if it's silly or nonsense or if it's poetic or important. It doesn't matter. It's just about expressing themselves in the way they want to."
Yeah.
So.
That's amazing.
Oh my God, there are so many questions that have just boiled to the surface. I was literally going, don't interrupt.
Should we have a cup of tea
I
then
need a cup of tea
while
we let that digest?
I was just thinking.
Look at that breath. Right. Just before we pour, for anyone listening and for those watching, you've brought us a present today.
I have.
You'll notice it's already open because it's been brewing.
Pre-poured.
It's Scottish blend.
So I'll tell you
TM.
why. My partner, she lives in Scotland. We're in a long distance relationship, 4 years.
Well, that's a topic for
Yes. Well,
how does
add
that
back in.
work? Get the questions on that.
And
Wow.
she's Scottish, so I was there and I was telling her about being on the pod, and then I said, "Oh, I'd really love to buy her some Scottish tea to take on," and so she actually bought that.
Oh,
So there you
what's
go,
her name?
Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline.
thank you, Caroline.
She's a nurse.
Oh,
Oh,
oh my God, you break my heart. A drummer, teacher, rapper, long distance relationship with a nurse from Scotland who sent us tea. Get a tiny violin. Get it out. Oh my God. It's too much for me. It's too much. So this is Scottish blend. It says it's perfectly blended with
Tea-
Scottish water.
Yeah, but Scottish water and Welsh water are really similar
They
because
are.
because
They're fresh.
they're fresh and they don't, unless you're in the city in Scotland, they don't add any anything to it
Stuff in-
that
yeah.
you
Hard- it
might not
doesn't make it
want to.
hard then,
Doesn't make it hard. It's not hard water. So
There we are.
actually very similar
And
in
well done
water
to
types.
Scotland because it says here they're biodegradable bags, which we love. Take
They're
that
cra-
environmental box.
yep. Check.
Here we are,
Not-
crafted using
Not a biodegradable box though.
No.
The box will actually last for like 1,000 years.
Yeah. Oh, this is so cool. I just didn't think Scottish tea was a thing. You just don't, do you? Have they got
No.
Irish tea? I'd love to know.
They've got Welsh tea though.
They've got Welsh tea.
We've got lots of Welsh tea.
We've been
actually.
trying to get Paned to sponsor us for quite some
Welsh
time
Brew.
now, and Welsh Brew, and Bird and Blend, who
There's
I don't know are Welsh, but they've got lots of...
I've emailed them. I've
Emailed
messaged
and
them.
emailed.
Nothing. Don't want to know.
Let's make a reel out of this section and tag them in it.
And just
Listen,
stare
we
'em
wanna
down.
help you
Sponsor the
out.
pod.
Obviously, you'll be helping us out more, but, you know, that's how it works. Anyway, have we got a cup for you?
No. I know.
Would you like my cup?
Well, I was eating
Oh, tea for two.
but I would also like to try the tea.
Yeah, I know, but what's happened here is me and Kaysha are knackered. Kaysha got a bad tooth.
Yeah.
Yes, I said tooth at me.
Tough, yeah.
Thank you.
That's how I'd
We've had
say
this
it.
conversation before. Thank you. Correct.
I would say it like that.
And Sheldon lived in England when he was 6, and he still says tough. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is why I got bullied.
Yeah, that's it, actually. That's good. But yeah, and
I do realise I say tough as well.
I know.
It was the argument,
It's
but
'cause-
you stared at me as if I didn't say it like
no,
that.
and then at the end you were like, "We're saying the same word."
Yeah.
I was like, "I know, we're still arguing." Anyway, yes. What was I saying? Gone now.
That we've put the
I'm in a
cups
show.
Oh, never. You
I'm
have fucking said that.
Oh,
have you?
Oh!
are you,
I
are
give
you
up
in a
now.
show? I've listened to all the podcasts. You've never mentioned it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just...
That's hilarious, isn't it? Anything that's like dominated my week, I come here and it's all I talk
Yeah.
about. I haven't mentioned the van recently because we haven't been working on
No,
it
the
for a
van, I know.
while, so I've just forgotten it exists now.
But it's the fact that you come here and tell me, but we talk like multiple
Every
times
day.
a day.
So funny. Oh god. I'm working on it, guys. Therapy's
Right,
expensive.
I'm thinking if we can be clever now
Yeah.
and put that box of Scottish blend in front of there, right in the middle,
Boosh, go.
Oh, you give me the
Oh, in the
squeaky
middle.
chair
Oh, hang
again.
on. Keep holding it, Sheldon. Cheers, babe. Over there.
Ta-da!
Woo!
There we go.
Seamless.
But
You could take the pick of the less
The less painted one.
poison.
less poisonous one.
Whatever, I don't mind.
I'd
don't
give
I?
it a sniff, I would. That's okay, that is.
Yeah, that's not. I wouldn't go with that one.
Go with that one. There we go.
Wow, that is painty.
Yeah. But to us now, it's like, that's okay.
But I'm happy to carry on using this cup. I'll just down my coffee. That's what I was saying. We've had coffee because we're both knackered. But you could have a clean, fresh cup that isn't gonna.
I'm happy to do whatever you. I'm good with whatever.
What do you feel like?
I'm easy.
Okay, I don't want you to get ill, so I'm going to do that cup.
Okay.
We haven't got insurance. If you sued us, that would be it. It'd be the
That's
end.
not who I am.
And this is the
You're fine.
last episode of Teaching.
I'm always suing podcasts.
Yeah,
you made me look awful. Was nothing to do with me.
That's why you wanted to come on, wasn't it? To sabotage. Oh, that
Do you
is
spill every week?
every week.
Right. Okay.
Because I forget about how to pour from this, because it's quite a unique spout. It's begun. I
You've
can
said
feel
that
it in the
before.
air. Right, Kaysha, that's yours.
Kaysha. Right.
Do you know what I'm happy
Kaysha,
about though?
yeah.
You've brought up a few things that have actually been talked about in other pods. Meaning, you've actually listened.
I've got to drink it the wrong way now as well.
Yeah, you have, and I've done that on purpose.
Yeah, I know you have.
You've forgotten to say milk first today, so I've just ploughed on. Enjoy that the correct way. It's brewed for 3 minutes.
It's milk first, by the way.
Have that motherfucker.
Oh, Granny June, I'm so sorry. That wasn't just
Sorry, Granny
I just said
June.
granny fucker. I said motherfucker.
Oh my god!
Granny June is surely somebody's mum, though.
It's my gran.
Is it gran?
It's my gran.
She's a legend. She is a fucking legend.
Kaysha.
I honestly, I've had a tosser of a week.
Oh my god.
So I really don't care.
She probably, do you know what, does Granny June care that much?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't anymore.
Granny June, actually, little fact, is, or was, still very much is, actually, in her head, definitely, was a head of English in a secondary school in Cowbridge.
Oh, wow.
A
Okay,
really good school
cool.
in Cowbridge
That's
for
awesome.
many, many, many years.
So if she
So
taught,
she's
she's
probably-
definitely said motherfucker before.
No
You
comment.
might have said it more than
I
I've
have never
ever
heard
say it.
Granny June swear.
I've mingled
In
with
fact-
many teachers.
The only time I've heard Granny June swear is at me, when she gets so frustrated with me arguing with her that it leads her to the F-bomb.
Well, she did actually call me a spare prick at a wedding the other day for our episode with Ella.
Please,
Nice.
It's one of-
tell everyone what she said.
Well, that's basically what she said. She was just like, it was a great episode. However,
But
I looked like a spare prick at a wedding because I didn't say anything. I was just sat here like this the entire time, going, yeah, yeah.
oh my god.
Sometimes you need somebody who's just going to observe and just be,
Yeah, that's usually
reactionary.
Well, she ain't going to sit there with her mouth shut, is she?
No, absolutely
No
not. How do you like your tea,
chance.
Sheldon?
A little bit of milk.
Little bit of milk.
No.
Tell me when.
There you go.
Yeah,
you
that's.
Normally I like more milk,
Yeah.
but I'm not complaining today.
No, I think you need to stir it with the spoon that you made fun of me for getting, but actually used. on
Actually,
every
I
episode.
love the spoon.
It's nice, isn't
it's
it?
just the coaster.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Oh my gosh! As if I could love myself more. Mirror, mirror.
On
Look,
the
there's
wall.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 of me.
Tell you what's this is great content.
And they're all
This
fucking
is-
hanging.
I was just going to say the same thing. I was like, oh god, oh god.
May I just point out for anyone watching, not that reflective.
Not that reflective. Not that reflective.
Thank God.
Anyway,
Oh, this is lovely, and
we need to ask our guests to do it.
I was just about
You
to
were
say
going
I was
for
going
it.
to say, do you want me to do ASMR? Is that like?
It's my
Absolutely.
favourite part of every pod.
I'm gonna put this back on.
I don't know that I'm any good at this. You think I'd have some sort of?
You're a drummer, so I'm intrigued to see what you do here.
I reckon, yeah.
I'd be overthinking
Well, I
it.
could. Oh, it became rhythmical. Oh, it was wrong.
I know.
It just became rhythmic.
I think if you're a drummer, you
Yeah.
can't do it. I want to Google who's a drumming ASMR person who doesn't make a rhythmic. It's just about the soundscape. Oh, still going.
Made a right mess there.
That's alright. I do it every week.
Sorry. Thank you.
That was what's happening. That was up there. It
I
really
have
was.
got to say, this is lovely.
The tea.
The tea.
The way I've made it. Or are you just talking about the leaf?
I don't mind as long as you can make it like that and look like that, not too strong. I don't mind if it's milk
This,
first.
right, can we address something now?
What now?
Because I've been thinking deeply about the milk first situation in the world, right? Everyone panics it's going to be too strong. That's not a thing. You just get more taste. You can still add as much milk as you want. I mean, that still irks me a little bit.
Well, it
Love
does.
the word
It
irk.
does depend on how much you fill the cup.
Not really.
Because you can't fill the cup up here and then put as much milk in as you want.
But knowing that you have milk first, I just filled that up quite a lot, and then I thought, okay, I'll be fair. I'll put quite a lot of milk in, like more milk than I would put in mine.
Yeah.
But you still get the same effect. It doesn't matter, but it does matter because milk first doesn't let the tea taste become like.
It does. You squeeze the tea bag.
So what I would
You're
say,
not meant to
well, we're in a teapot, so squeezing the tea bag's not a thing at the moment. But what I will say,
Thank you.
but that's
Say it again.
smug over here, isn't she?
Oh,
What I will say is, with the when you put the milk in first, I feel like it blends together better when you're using a teapot. So when you like.
yeah.
So if you have a martini, there's a difference in flavour if you shake it or if you stir it. So if you stir
Shaken
them,
or stirred.
was that James Bond?
Yeah.
All right. Which James
in
Bond
the
was
show,
that?
I think.
All right.
Show, I
Okay.
think. I'm in a show, so it's in
Are
that.
you though?
Are you in the show? Yeah.
Housemates in the show. Yeah.
All right.
Um,
You
That was
played
definitely-
James Bond.
That was definitely
I'm
more.
forgetting their cast as that, no.
That was definitely more Sean Connery.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point. She
Yeah,
goes,
yeah.
shaken or stirred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not bad.
Anyway, I
Nice.
make tea correctly. That's all we need to know. Let's move on.
Like, my
That is
argument
what it is.
is that neither one is correct or incorrect. It's just the way you do it, and it's to taste.
She's tripping on her phone.
I am literally dripping on my brand new iPhone. That's
It's calm
Sorry.
that
They're
is.
waterproof, though, aren't they?
yeah.
Supposed to be?
They say they're long
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
you have them for a week, and then you're like, what? And then you go back to EE, and you're like, why is my phone not doing all of the things you said it was gonna do?
That's iPhone feel, that is.
Yeah. Here we are. Anyway, I've got to make my tea now. Just a tiny bit of milk. There we are.
She's got that coffee essence in her tea as well.
Yeah, with some nice lipstick. Hey, I'm saving your life, beer. I could have had that, and now you had the poisonous cat.
You are very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I apologise. I should have just brought my own. I've got my own little one pot sauce, tea pot and saucer thing. Because I should have brought
That's
that.
fun.
Oh well.
Oh, well,
Question.
Next time.
What episode is this? This is my favourite thing to do because she knows.
Yeah, because there is no. Because
We had this conversation before you turned up because guess what, everyone? Caitlin turned up late again. Way!
Late.
What a shocker.
Latelyn.
Latelyn.
Have you heard that? That's what Matthew calls me.
Yeah.
Whenever like we plan to do something, I'm like, oh, I'm on my way, and he's like, you said you were going to be here now though, so you're
Yeah.
on your way. That means you're 40 minutes late, and I'm like, ha, sorry, and he just in capitals, Latelyn.
Yeah.
She's
I like
back.
that. I like that.
Latelyn Lavagna.
So we were talking before you came to say
How
that.
dare you?
I know. Well, you know.
I thought there was silence until we start the pod.
Gonna slag you off at some point,
She
don't
was
we?
trying to be quiet, but actually, I just can't stop talking.
Yeah,
So
And we were saying that basically you asked me to predict the future.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm asking too much. Quite honestly.
No.
Yeah.
read the tea leaves.
This is
Yeah, you're into tarot
episode.
cards and stuff, you know?
I am.
Here we are then.
I'm
Be
gonna
better.
go. This is episode
Love it.
15.
It's official. That was shocking. 15. Cheers, everyone. Yaki da. What do they say in
Yaki da.
Scotland? Do you know?
Yes, you do.
Oh, do you know what?
Oh, I
I've
should
had
know
this
that. I watched
conversation.
Outlander. What did they say?
What do they say? Yaki da. Cheers.
Oh, she's going to kill me for not knowing this, but there you go.
I've just ruined the long distance there. Sorry about that.
No, no.
You
It's
went
fine.
on a pod.
Yeah.
Is that her, was it? I'm sorry, Caroline.
Caroline, I'm sorry. Fun.
So I always, to get into it when because she does the Welsh accent. She does my Welsh accent. So to get into the Scottish accent, I'm like, you wee bastard.
Ah,
Yeah.
you wee bastard.
That's where, like, so you find a sentence that you hear
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
think,
yeah.
and then, like, that'll kind of help you
They
slip
teach
into
you
it a
that
bit
in
more.
drama school. Like, and normally...
Didn't go to that lesson, did you?
Absolutely not. No. I was late for that. No, I wasn't.
You were
I
late, that's
wasn't.
your Latelyn.
Latelyn.
Latelyn was my accent. That's my accent in one. It's just a general Latelyn accent.
As long as you don't do your Aussie one, we're alright.
You know?
Yeah.
So, by the way, heard that on this week's pod. Caroline cannot stop doing an Australian accent, and
You know?
it actually drives me mental. It drives me mental because,
Shivers every time.
and I listen to Australian podcasts, and I have no problem. But it's because it's so you know, like that accent where when somebody does a Welsh accent, they go, "Oh, let me tell you now, it's a little bit like that."
Yeah.
It's so emphasised,
Stereotypical.
Yeah.
but so emphasised in the
Yeah.
way. So when you were doing that, you know, I was thinking, "Oh, that's what Caroline does," and I was going like this.
I know, yeah.
It's not going anywhere, guys. So, you know. I've been watching an Australian series. I'm rewatching it on BBC iPlayer for the 3rd time. I think it's that underrated and that brilliant. It's called Colin from Accounts.
Oh, I love Colin from Accounts.
It's
Great.
one of my favourite written, directed, everything series ever. I think it's absolutely
Now, I
brilliant.
heard this from...
My gran,
No.
because my granny June was the one who told me to watch it, and normally
Oh.
I don't really.
Listen
could
to
say I
it.
don't really listen to it.
You don't really listen to it. No, we know that. We know
I
that.
just caught myself saying that. But whenever she messages me about music, drama, like Englishy stuff, National Theatre Live, and she tells me when all the programmes are on, it's quite useful actually. It's like, you know, the Yellow Pages or something like that. It's like having a consistent, like, you should watch this.
Yeah.
It's kind of having a real life algorithm.
Algorithm, yeah.
Algo Granny. She's an Algo Granny. Al Granny. Anyway, she tells me what to watch. So I started watching it and I was thinking, oh, this is about a dog. I'm not going to like this. It's absolutely
So I heard
incredible.
of it from off the telly.
What?
Off the
Oh,
telly. The podcast.
I was like, I know, it's on the telly.
It's on the telly, love. I know
I'm
that.
telling you, it's on the telly.
Is that podcast Welsh?
Joanna Page.
Oh, right, okay.
Natalie Cassidy.
Because that off the telly is such a Welsh
Yeah.
phrase. You don't hear that anybody else. So I say him off the telly, or
you know, so
off the
and so.
telly, off the telly. So it's so Welsh.
Yeah. It's brilliant. Did they talk about it on that?
Yeah, they love it. I
It's-
haven't caught up on it.
There's 2 series, but I'm like, where's the I want more. It's unbelievably well written. It's so funny, and it's Matthew described it as, which I think is correct. It feels like it's British humour,
Yeah.
but Australian, but it's not like Neighbours Australian, where it's so far removed from what we know.
Yeah.
It's that we don't find it funny. It's kind of like they're Australians, but they've written it like a British. It's brilliant.
I think I listen to some Australian podcasts, there's ones I really like, and actually, I think if you listen to their humour, in some ways that like Americans necessarily don't like, and I've got lots of American friends, and when I was on tour beginning of last year with an American group, and we're very dry, but not in a way that you'd normally like Australians very much have that similar dry humour that it's how would you say it to anyone on the outside it could seem cutting or almost like harsh,
Yeah.
and actually it isn't, because often the harshness comes from real love of something or from complete love of
Well, I take the piss out of you most of the time.
Oh,
And
every day. of
Every
life.
day. Yeah.
Every day.
Which I love. But it brings me joy. It brings me joy to take the piss out of you. It really does. But on the
And
outside...
it makes me severely depressed when I've got to put up with it every day. But I don't know why I keep coming back. It's unhealthy, really.
Well,
Maybe we should try
you're
long
more
distance.
than welcome not
Should
to.
we try long distance?
Tell us how it
podcast.
works. Because
Yeah,
long
please.
distance to me sounds fucking amazing.
Have you... She's like, what is this thing called long distance? Have you ever done long distance yourself?
No.
Ever?
No.
With anyone?
No.
do you want to ask her in a
I
different
think
way?
you'd like it.
I know. Ask me the same question 3 times. Funny enough, it's going to be no.
I was thinking romantically, or like, have you spent a long time away from somebody like that, like years?
Though that requires me to love someone very much to spend time away from them.
Your family watch this podcast, do you know that?
Yeah, I love them.
Oh, fine. Yeah.
But their family is different. Romantic love,
it is different.
Family is different.
family
yeah.
love to romantic love is very, very different.
Yeah, true.
I hope you understand that.
No. Can you imagine? No, I just love everyone the same.
I've never thought about it differently. This
Oh,
is
God,
interesting.
wow. I've done long distance before
Okay, with
with an ex.
yeah, no, I meant as in like with somebody from,
Oh no, so
or you were.
he's an English singer-songwriter on the scene actually, and goes around saying that he's Welsh, which irks me.
Oh,
But I met him when
No,
he
I'm
was-
annoyed by that. That's
She's like,
well,
check out this
I'll
out.
tell you the name after.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my
think,
fake Welsh ex.
I was going to say, did he just fucking leave you?
Yeah.
That's not long distance.
Oh yeah, me and my girlfriend are in contact. I'm not.
Oh, why ain't he coming back?
I'm still waiting for him to come back. So I assume it's long distance.
Oh no.
Anyway, oh my God, actually.
No.
Absolutely got me. Oh my God, we forgot our first cry.
I know.
And you. We're both crying because we both read the lyrics to my songs, and I'm clearly still not over it. No, it was terrible. It was awful. Oh. And yeah, no, I went off to drama school, so it was long distance for like a year. And then he went, nah, this is boring now. And assumed I was like cheating on somebody else who still remains to be my best friend now. Nothing's ever happened.
Oh, I haven't heard that story.
Yeah.
Oh.
Who was you shagging,
My
then?
basic. Oh, him.
I said, who were you shagging?
Well, the irony was, I was shagging absolutely nobody, and he was
that's
shagging
depressing.
somebody else because the day afterwards he got with somebody else.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of times that's the case.
And I think
They
it was
say you're
maybe-
cheating, and
yeah,
turns out
and
that...
like I think that's why people assume you can't do long distance. But actually, I know a married couple who are long distance, and they're really happy. They're actually a duo together. It's south of Polaris.
Yeah.
They're in long distance, are they? Have I read that? Or they work away for a long time and then they come back together, or something like that.
Potentially.
I think it's something like
I
that.
don't know how much about their
Yeah, I think a
relationship, to
mutual-
be honest.
yeah.
They're a client.
What, is it only me that shares all that with you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Funny enough, yeah.
What, I could keep that to
So, do
myself,
you sleep
could
in
I?
the same bed? Do you sleep in the same house? In the same country? Yeah, there's no usually questions I
No.
ask, to be honest.
Gosh, maybe I should try that.
Yeah.
It's like stop telling everyone
But
everything.
how do you do it?
Yeah,
like,
how?
she's yapping, and
So,
to be honest, I want to know about you.
Oh no, I've done it again.
It's really enjoyable coming to listen to the pod in live
Yeah,
format. I'm not. We miss each other. It can be really difficult, but we both realised that we'd much rather miss each other and have each other in our lives than not be with each other at all.
Hmm.
So as long as we have that in our mind and we know what we're actually, building towards within the future, and like we know that we're just of the mind that like we make time for each other. I've been up there quite a lot this year already. She's bought a new house June last year, and I've just been like, I meant to be fitting new doors for her, but my electric plane broke, so then like other things have been happening, but
Yeah.
it's just building
Sorry,
stuff.
I'm laughing. Doors, smash the back doors in. That's
Yeah. I wouldn't lie to you.
That's
You
where I was
just-
going.
You just said the sentence, so I was meant to fit
Her new doors.
And I
She
went,
goes, yeah. So we thought the same thing, and I
Oh,
looked
right.
at her, and her eyes were going, "Don't see it.
I was like,
don't see it. Don't see it."
I have to put new oak doors into her house where old doors were once fitted.
there we
Okay.
are.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about doors now.
Yes.
There's lots of metaphors flying around on this
It
pod.
is.
You've got to be careful. Like, I didn't know what long distance, I didn't know what type of long distance we were
You didn't know
talking
what
about.
long distance was.
No, I'm still waiting for him to come back. I'm definitely not.
No, it works really. It works really well. It's hard and it takes a lot of work. We meet in the middle,
Yeah.
lots of times, and that can be
the
for.
middle? Birmingham?
No, we've never actually met in Birmingham's. Actually, not the middle. Birmingham's a bit-
Liverpool?
Liverpool's more
Manchester.
middle. Manchester,
Manchester, I
we've
was
stayed in
gonna say
Manchester.
I
The
love Liverpool.
Cockermouth.
Cockermouth.
Oh, wait, I know where that is. That's...
I love that fitting new doors got something, but Cockermouth got
I know.
nothing.
No,
You were just like,
where
where's
No, but
Cockermouth?
where's that now? I hear that.
That's a really lovely English town, north. We've met in Liverpool. I've actually been all over the country with her because we just like, well, let's just let's just make it
It's
work.
like using it as an excuse to see a new place, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is. We get to go to like some amazing places. The UK is actually filled with amazing places, also filled with some awful places, but that's just the world in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to find the nicer places are like your countrysides and your little villages, and the horrible places are cities.
But you don't like cities.
I hate cities.
Yeah, but if anyone's listened to this pod before, they know that.
Yeah, they know.
Because you really don't like cities. Now, I really love cities.
Yeah.
I miss city living, but
That surprises me about you. I don't really know you.
because I look like I
No,
live in the
no,
woods.
No,
Well, I'm just trying to get to the same mindset. I'm not.
no, just from hearing your story about how much you've travelled and the fact that you moved from Wales to London and then were homeschooled and you went around the world, basically. I just thought you would be more of a... And I don't know why this is, but when people say they don't really live in cities, you assume they're not like adventurous, but actually there's so much adventure in one place in a city.
Oh, crazy adventure in
'Cause it's
cities.
just there,
Well, because
everything's
anything
there.
you want to do is available to you,
At
and
any
actually
time,
you
yeah.
don't need. The thing is, like we grew up working class. My dad was a coal miner originally, and then we moved to London. And actually, like very working class. Like we were very lucky to be able to afford to live in London. He was working all the time, but then also teaching me. So he was working in nights and weekends and stuff. So doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But this happens sometimes. My ADHD like takes my brain over you, and I'm like, no, come back. I'm still making a point.
At least you've got to that point.
No,
I just
yeah.
go, woohoo!
Yeah, she's off. She don't come back.
No, you can live very cheap. Like apart from rent and kind of utilities and stuff, you can live very cheaply in London if you want to. If you know where to live and you also know where to go to find the things that are available and free to you.
Yeah, true.
So I did a lot of theatre as well from the age of 12 to 13. I was in plays in London. And that was because there were open auditions, and then they just made money on the tickets that they sold them if they had a Christmas show on and stuff. So I just went and did that.
Yeah.
And that, and I played in a football team, and that was like 50 pence a week, which is nothing when you're a kid. And I mean, you say, boots and everything are more expensive, but my dad said, I can't afford those expensive boots. You're wearing high-techs that I bought in the car boot sale. And that was okay.
Fine.
Like, I get to play. That's it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I was never of the mind that, I don't, but I want the boots that everyone else has. He was very lucky as well, because I didn't go to school. I wasn't going, I want what he's got. Until I was 11, I didn't realise there were other genres other than 50s rock and roll music. And I wish that was a joke. It's not. We used to listen to Captain Gold FM, and we used to listen to tapes, because we didn't have a record player. My dad had a record collection, but didn't have a record player at the time, because, like I said, we were living poor, so we didn't have things. Didn't have a TV till I was 11, and the only reason we had that was because somebody donated a black and white portable TV to my dad for me, because they thought it was unfair that I didn't have a television.
Yeah.
And then television ruined my brain.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, fair. Yeah, absolutely fair.
Yeah, I was just thinking when you were saying that about, I think kids these days are a lot more like, I want that, or
The next
they've
best-
got
best
that,
thing.
so I need that. Like kids these days are like, oh well, I want a PlayStation. Oh well, he's got an Xbox, so I want an Xbox, or I want this, and I'm like, I can't remember being like that as a child. Like, of course you want things, but it would be like, can I have? And then it was either your parents said yes or no, and then that was it.
That was it.
I think that comes down to, and this is not like I'm a dad myself. I think this comes down to actually saying, like, and I would say my daughter's amazing. Like she says she wants something, and I'm saying no. She just accepts it.
Yeah.
I do think it comes down to when they're younger. I do wonder whether parents. Oh God, this is getting into a strange place. I'm here to promote an album, by the way. No, I'm playing.
I was driving down the city route to be like, so what's that? But
now we're going to parenting.
Anyway.
But what I would say is parents, for a long time, I think because for a while in the UK, it felt like we were living in the best times ever. Like, between 2000 and 2010, things felt really good in this country for single parents who maybe were working. They felt like they had lots of help and stuff, there was, even if it was like, extra, not benefits, but if they were working, they'd get help being topped up, like to whatever. So they felt like they could say yes. My dad, we've had a conversation recently, and my dad said the thing he regrets is that he didn't give me money when he was growing up. He says and not just to save, but actually just give me money so that I could just go and do some stuff if I wanted to. He says he feels bad about that.
And learn about like the responsibility of what do you spend your money on and what.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that, but we just don't think about it. Buy a new microphone every week just to see if it makes my voice sound a bit different. I'm like, buy new plugins. I'm like,
I got the same with watches.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
On the
Kaysha's
watches.
got a problem with watches.
Yeah, it's a serious problem.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We went shopping after my.
But we didn't really go shopping. We went for a coffee, and there was a shop opposite. And
No,
I
I
went,
needed to go to M&S, didn't I? to
oh
get
yeah, I
something
did.
or
Oh yeah, I
whatever.
did follow you around there, didn't
Yeah,
I?
so then she followed me around, and then we were literally about to go and get a Costa, and we passed the watch shop in Macarthur Glen, and I just saw a different Kaysha. I've never seen quite anything quite like it, really.
No, went in. I love that one, please.
I honestly,
It's actually this one.
Oh, right.
it's the one you're wearing.
It's
I
the one
do
I'm wearing.
really like it, but honestly, she made
It's
that
nice.
decision about that watch in, like, I've seen people make decisions about how much more petrol they put in their car slower.
Yeah.
It was like,
I just went in. I put it on. I went, yeah, that fits nice. Yeah, I love that.
Nice.
and I was behind her going, "Are you sure? I mean, this is a big. Have we thought about this?"
You
She
know.
was like, "Yeah, I like it and I want it, so that's
Yeah.
it."
But and then in a way it's a bit like, well, that sounds a bit like posh or a bit
Don't
You
worry.
no.
like, but, yeah, just
Don't
don't
worry.
worry.
You don't look posh.
Yeah, no,
Or
thank you.
sound posh.
But
or-
it's but the thing
Don't
is
panic
that
now. You still look working class.
thank you. It's like you spend so much time on other things,
Yeah.
and like I work so much on other people that sometimes it is nice to go.
Do you
I
know
would
what?
Like
Impulse
that.
buy. I want to watch.
I would like that because I want to treat myself.
Yeah.
It's also the thing of like, if watches are your thing,
Yeah. I feel okay with that decision. Thank you
i-
very much.
if watches are your thing as well, like everyone kind of tends to have their thing.
Yeah.
Some people, I mean, for some people, it's just drinking. Like that sounds like, you know, there's like, all right, so right, okay. Well, I didn't know that. I wasn't thinking of anything. I'm like, so anyway, so watch, like, but like, you know, everyone has their thing that they, like, I've actually had to be really careful. I've got over 4,000 comic books.
You're a collector.
I am. I'm a collector.
cool.
I've been collecting them since I was 7. I found a lot of solace and comfort in heroes doing the right thing,
stories
doing
and-
the right
yeah,
thing, and
yeah.
heroes being like, you know, valiant
Yeah.
and you know, because I didn't see that in the world. Yeah. I'll tell you a story later, but I'll wait until we've like kind of
Yeah.
moved on a bit, and then I'll. But
What's behind you? It's behind.
So this is a painting I've done for my album cover. It's not the whole album cover. It's just a piece of it. But this is so I'll give you some of the. There's a time on the clock there. This is the evening, so it's in the winter. This is actually 1707, which is my birthday.
Oh, cool.
So everything has like I have little
Yeah,
connections
yeah.
of things. This is the idea of me falling into a city, growing up in it, but then immediately, like, you know, imagine if you were falling into something you didn't know and it was like a strange place and like feeling like almost like you're almost like an alien being dropped in a place that feels alien to
here
you.
now,
Yeah,
around
just like
it.
completely like,
Yeah.
oh, like this is life now. Everything's faster. You're gonna have to learn to walk at triple the speed you used to walk
Yeah.
at. And then it's also, because it's Last Days of London, it's me kind of saying goodbye to London as a subject. So the me falling is also kind of me falling. It's also me falling out from London. Not out of love. I'll never be out of love of what I knew, but London isn't what I knew. It's changed. I've changed. It's changed,
Yeah.
and that's that's sort of the point of like the album that I'm releasing. The whole thing is very autobiographical. Everything on it is true, or has happened, or things that happened to me, or things that I went through. It's very much me sort of saying, I have to make a decision to let London go. I've had to do that, and I've only just been able to do it. I've only just made the decision recently, and I'm like, okay. Like it's ready. There's so much to say. This is something when I teach in schools and I teach rap in schools. One of the things I often talk to young people about is if you want to write rap, you can write about whatever you want. But if you want to do it well, write about what you know. Now, obviously, it does happen, and crime does happen in Wales, but it's not London. it's not the same. The struggle that we have in Wales is not the same as the struggle we have in London's struggle is not the same as our struggle.
No.
So my dad was a coal miner. When the industry died in this country, in Wales, north of England as well, but in Wales specifically, because that's what I know, community died. Because suddenly there was masses of community that didn't have anywhere to go together to fight for something together, which meant then, like, live music and events, they died because who were they serving? They weren't serving because they used to be the respites for coal miners who were working. They'd go and see a band they'd never heard of because they just wanted to go and do something together with comrades and friends. That died away. And the problem is, when all of that was taken away, it was... when all of that stuff was taken away, there was no new foundations built. It just got ripped out, and then it was just left with the ground that was originally there. And it's like, now just make your own way. And the problem is, we're still trying to build on a foundation that's shaky at best, because we didn't get help to initially come out of what we'd had. Like, the Industrial Revolution, Wales is so central to that idea. First train ever to run is from Merthyr. It's one of, it's one of those things you don't, lots of people don't know that. Lots of people don't know that the guy who started the NHS is from Tredegar. Lots of people don't know that.
An Iron Bevan,
isn't it? But the thing is, there's so much stuff about Wales that was so important to the growth of the UK. And then when Margaret Thatcher decided,
Fine.
Yeah, I have thoughts. I have thoughts.
That's a different part for a different day.
Yeah, that's a pod series. I'm not even.
Yeah.
But when she decided to do what she do to this country, because she did do it to this country, we were at war with ourselves, and you were saying about, like, I think I heard you on another episode talking about, like, if media is like we see. It's immediate news is immediately in front of us, so it scares us. I think the one good thing we do have, thank you very much. It is much more difficult. It is much more difficult now it still happens, but if you want to, obviously there's false news or news that's not right in front of us all the time. But if you want to look for information yourself, there are avenues now where you can find out stuff for yourself. Yeah. Whereas before, you had to take the biased opinion of one channel or two channels, whatever their opinion was. And if you look at what happened with the coal mining strikes and the steelwork closures and everything, that was very much coming from a one-sided point of view of, like, this is what's needed for the country. These workers are scum. Like, they'd call us scum and stuff, which is, like, crazy because, like, where we are now in the situation we're in, the country's really depressed. And I still see that depression now. Like, I still see, like, there are lots of people that I think are trying to make big changes and make a difference, but you still see all those workers that were left out of a job. They had children that suddenly saw their parents on benefits fall and be depressed. They then grew up and had kids, and all they'd ever known was a depressed father or depressed mother who didn't feel like they could work and didn't feel like they had anything. They're now bringing up kids that are seeing, and it literally is like the unraveling of of communities within Wales, and I see it, and it's so sad. And my dad used to put on rock and roll nights down in a place called Crosshands. And he used to run coaches. That used to coaches to collect people and bring people up, bring them back. And actually, people wouldn't even think about doing that now.
It's not cost effective. It's like get yourself there and get yourself home.
Yeah. It isn't cost effective, but I guarantee you, like back in the day, especially when community was important, people didn't mind paying the extra little bit of money to come to a thing. To come to a thing.
To go with somebody. Yeah. You hear lots of people now, and you talk, especially with gigs and things, saying like, oh, I've got a ticket for this, I've got a ticket for that, but I can't find anyone to come with me, so I'd actually rather not go because I don't want to go on my own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, where's that come from?
Yeah.
Maybe
but also
these buses back.
There are communities now, and I made a point to it when I did the St. David's Day thing that I did at Newbridge Memo.
Yeah.
And I made a point there of going, there should have been more people attend, even though it was well attended, but there should have been more. But the issue now is that the community that I knew as Newbridge when I was growing up is not that community anymore. There are families that have moved in because it's cheaper to live in Newbridge and travel to work in Cardiff than it is to live in Cardiff.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I think that's kind of why they've tried to improve the train line, because they're very aware that most of these valleys towns now, there's nothing in them. The high streets have gone to vape shops and takeaways, and there's no, and Greg's, like there's nothing here, there's no like shops anymore or independent. What they are is they're commuter towns. Yeah. People live there because it's cheaper to live there, and there's a train to Cardiff.
But do you know what
that's what the valleys is becoming. There's no valleys community.
But there's one of the things I see an issue with that is it's like the trains are good, but why not scrap 2 of the trains during the day that you run, and run 1 train just a little bit later from Cardiff that will come back. If you like, like you're not saying Cardiff needs to be the centre. There needs to be stuff going on in other places.
Yeah, but we all know there is more stuff going on in Cardiff. So
yeah. Thank you, Petey.
But there is stuff going on. But if you had a train that was that ran up here late and then one that ran back late, that would also mean that people could come from Cardiff and leave on that last train going back to Cardiff. Yeah. So there would be an option. There are smarter ways to run the public transport or the transport than it's being run. So like I know that like you want to run them regularly during the day. Leave a 2-hour gap where there isn't one, and then just run one later in the night, so people can be in Cardiff until 12:30, and can get home after 12:30.
That's a huge problem, the last train home situation.
Of course it is.
You get people leaving gigs early now because they have to get the train home, and then that gets cancelled. They get stuck in Cardiff. They got to have taxis. It's awful. There
was one gig that I was supposed to go to. I think it was last year sometime, and I was driving. And I think there was mad traffic because there was like 2 or 3 things going on in Cardiff at the same time. And we're like, I'm not even going to get into Cardiff on time. I'm not going to get out to Cardiff on time. I'm like, what's the point? I was like, because there's no point me taking the train because I can get the train down, but I can't get it home.
No.
Yeah.
So it's so I just went, I just not go in. But then that meant that I've lost out on, 150 quid on tickets because people decide to put 3 massive events on in Cardiff on the same day.
The infrastructure, I think that's the right word to say, or whatever, of like driving around Cardiff, which is quite a small city in the grand scheme of things. It's not built for that amount of traffic and stuff.
No, it's not.
There's no kind of, we could host the Olympics, we could host all of these huge, the Eurovision, all these things, but the reason why we didn't do those things is because there's no way that Cardiff itself could cope with that influx of people. No. The transport links are not there. You can still drive through, like anyone can drive around the town. There's no kind of charge to go in, or there's no control on it. So it's just not sustainable the way it is, I don't think, for gigs and bigger stuff.
Oh, it's completely not. And it's just, and that's the thing where I'm saying, like, there are answers. Like, I mean, it sounds me simple, or me saying, like, just run 1 train later. But it is sort of that simple. If you just don't, if you just have 2 hours.
It's got more than 2 carriages, mind. But that's
but like, and I mean, of course, I understand. But do you know what? A 2-carriage train would be better than no train.
True,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I'd rather, like, 2-carriage train is better than no carriage train. Like, no, and I just think it's funny how we have this, like I said, like, you could literally have a gap of 2 hours where no trains run from these places. Look, it would be annoying. But to begin with, that would cover your cost then for your evening stuff.
Yeah.
And you would literally, and it wouldn't work immediately. The thing is with trying these things, you have to stick at them. Stuff takes a while to really kick off. If it kicks off immediately, you've been lucky, and it's just caught the zeitgeist or something. We all know that
with being musicians, and you got to consistently keep pushing, haven't you? And so back to you, because clearly we could talk about so many things. So we'll have to get you back on. But ultimately, we want to know about this album that's dropping. When is it coming out? So we kind of know like the concept of it now, about leaving London and stuff, which. Mm-hmm. I'm happy to say I got a bit emotional when you were wording that, as in your decision to let go London, because I've written a song about that, and I know exactly.
Night Bus.
Yep. And I've that was a tough song to write, and it was a tough song to then go back to release, and just even now when I sing that song live, it's still my favourite one, because I'm like, that really for me was a really, really difficult decision to just like kind of say close the door on London a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I still love it, but I just couldn't be there anymore. And it was like that kind of thing of like loving something so much but knowing it's so bad for you. And having the adult brain to be like, hang on a minute, something's got to shift here because I can't mentally keep going with this thing that I supposedly love so much, but it's literally killing me. Like, I have to move home and just clear my head.
Do you see how she said back to you and then went on a rant for 2 minutes?
To be fair, I did not expect you to even know what night was, so thanks for that. But yeah,
that's fine.
So is the whole album about leaving London, or the other things in there as well?
So the album basically starts with me going to London.
Ah, okay.
And it starts with me going to London. It starts with me... and there's a train of thought is literally a little skit in the middle where I actually I'm just rap talking, but I'm literally on a train. The music it sounds like I've made it to sound like a train.
Cool.
And then it goes into a track called A Christmas Tale. And so I was going to bring up earlier, but when I was maybe 8 or 9, my dad there was a man sleeping in a shop doorway, and I asked my dad why was that guy lying there. I didn't understand, I was like, and he said, and he explained to me that he's probably fallen on hard times, and he's homeless, and like London can be tough. And I was like, okay. Then December came, and I went to London with my dad to a place called Box City. And Box City is where all the homeless people used to live and congregate. It's not there anymore because the government moved them all on. And unfortunately now homeless people aren't taking care of each other in London, which is what you're finding is happening. Yeah. But it's called, and he took me to, and we spend I was like 8 or 9, from I would say, from sort of like 10:30 till maybe 2:33 in the morning, we just fed and gave drink to like homeless people, like not alcohol, just hot drinks
and stuff. Yeah.
And I just talked to homeless people, and my dad said, "Is it okay if my son asks you some questions?" And they were just like, "Yeah." And then I would just say, "Okay, what happened? Like, can I ask why you're living on the street?" And then I heard about 20 different people's stories that night about how they ended up, like, some of them probably inappropriate, like, not they weren't horrible. Everyone was really lovely, and. But they would just say, like, I heard, like, a guy was saying, like, I got divorced, and, like, just didn't have anywhere, and, like, just really crazy stories. And I came home, and there's a line that there's a line in that song where I say, that's the day that magic died, when I saw it with my own eyes. Literally, like, it's almost like it was like, and it was Christmas time. So for me, it was like because that's such a joyous thing, and it was like, whoa, London can be so brutal.
That's the other side.
And that's the other side that you don't see. And my dad was very much like, I'm going to bring you up so you understand that not everything is this, there's lots of different viewpoints. And I came home and I listened to Streets of London by Ralph McTell. Do you know that song?
As in...
Let me take you by the hand, I'll lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. It's a folk song by a guy called Ralph McTell. It's my favourite song in the world because of that memory, I think, as well. Yeah. But it is literally about homeless people, and like, how can you tell me you're lonely and you say for you that the sun don't shine? And it literally just about like saying, like, you say you've got it harsh, let me show you what it's like on the streets of London. I'm back, and that was the moment that music changed for me. That was also the music. Wow. So that happened. I came home listening to that song, and that was the moment I was like, oh, music is different. Like, oh, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Yeah, like, I was like, oh, music, it's not just it heals, it can also like punch you right in the face. Like, like you can hear something and you'll be like, whoa, like, and you need to like take a moment to like really like sometimes music can be joyous and like the most gratifying thing in the world. Sometimes it can be angry, and so it just has so many layers. And that was the moment where I was like, oh, music had always been for me a thing I danced to. I love to dance. I still love to dance. Always love to dance.
Class.
It was a thing I just loved to do. That was the moment where I was like, there's more to music than just what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was where it came from. So
that's amazing. So when is it out?
20th of March.
Oh, not that long then.
No, not long.
Ooh.
Coming soon.
And what are you hoping? like when you release music,
Mm-hmm.
Because me and Kaysha, because Kaysha helps me release my music, like we talk a lot about what I want from it and what I like, the achievements and the things that I want, or people I want it to reach, and you know, is there when you release music? Because I know that as an artist releasing it, there's so much more that happens before that.
Mm-hmm.
You have the idea, you write the song, sometimes you leave the song for years, and then you
Mm-hmm.
go, yeah, I'll release it now.
Mm-hmm.
Why now? What's led you to do it, and what are you hoping to achieve from it?
Basically it's now because I need to let go of London now. Because
So it is that.
that is specifically what it is. If I don't do that now, I'm going to write about London forever.
Yeah.
And I literally, like, it's 14 songs. I think it's 14 songs. 13, 14? I don't know.
Wow.
But it's 14 songs of me just basically saying, this is London to me, and just going through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm now at a point where I'm having to say, like, I want to write about Wales and about things I see here and things I know. And I've done that in other albums, but I've only done it bit by bit. But I now want to write about I want to write it consistently, because also the London I rap about isn't the London that's there anymore. It's not there anymore. It isn't. So, like, I almost want to write. I want to come at it fresh, and I knew I almost needed to bleed London out of me.
Yeah.
I needed to, like, get it all out of me,
Yeah.
so that I could just come away and just be like, that. Like, I'm done with that.
Yeah,
now.
like that's a part of my life. It was great. It was bad. It was all of the things. Here's something to commemorate that,
Yeah.
and hopefully it'll help other people who've maybe had a similar experience. to
Possibly.
yours, you know?
I mean, to be honest, this is so selfish in a way. I make the music for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Yeah.
I release it, and I do whatever I can with it, and I would be more than thrilled if one person messaged me and say, I really like that song. It doesn't have to be the whole album. They just like that one song.
Yeah, or that one lyric.
That one lyric, or I love that
yeah.
line. It doesn't need to be like I was talking to you earlier off thing, and I was saying, I don't know, I think I was, and I was saying that, like, somebody liking something one
Yeah.
time, just liking a post or liking a video that you've made. You don't have to know that, but just having one like actually means so much. It's validation in a
yes,
way
so it
of
is
what you do. It's
validation.
validation of creativity, and it's so hard to get in front of people, especially in Wales as a rapper, because lots of people
Yeah.
do not want to come out to see a rapper
No.
because they have ideas about what a
Yeah.
rapper is. So I
Yeah.
do a freestyle. I've got a beatbox that I work with called Beat Technique, and
Class.
we do a thing. We go to clubs and we do stuff in schools as well. But he beatboxes, and I either get people to hold up objects or I get them to write words, and then I freestyle rap about everything that's in the room. Now, people don't want to book us, but if we happen to have been booked there and they see us, they love it. But if you say, "Oh, I'm a hip hop artist and I'm here," they're like, I don't like rap.
Yeah,
Well, no, I don't like
don't
rap.
rap.
And because immediately in their head, rap is specifically one thing. It's not a bunch of stuff. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
You know, all this other stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah. Do you drum on your own stuff?
I do on some of it.
Great.
I do on some of it. I
Have you got a drum kit?
I do have a digital drum kit.
A digital?
I've got a digital drum kit. Well, because then
Interesting.
because I can
You
turn
probably
it
using
into
the sounds and stuff
because
more, aren't you?
I do use it as drums. I record my own sounds and use them on there. I use it more like I just kind of so I put my own drum. I record drums and then put my own drum sounds because I've got a live kit, but I don't have that set up because it's loud.
Yeah. Neighbours exist in the world.
Yeah, and also like with hip hop and stuff, sometimes like there's a couple of songs on the album that have live drums on, but I'm not always looking for that. So
Yeah.
sometimes I need to be able to rather than I can actually work on the way the drums sound before I start playing it. So then I've got this whole thing of like,
It's a world you've created.
So I'm drumming it and I can kind of like play around with how I'm playing because the drums then sound different. I don't have to play it and then go and EQ and do everything to the drums. And then when I do that, it changes the whole sound. I know what I'm getting immediately because I'm doing it with the program
Yeah.
sounds
And that's,
from there.
in my opinion, that's how you should. That is why they were invented, rather than them being called practice kits. Like I think, like if you've got like an electric drum kit, you should be using it to create different worlds and different genres.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many opportunities to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, if that's your
Yeah, if you're
how you
into that
work.
thing.
Yeah. You said you got a real kit.
Yeah.
Which one?
I have an it's called an Arbiter Auto Tune. So it's they're no longer a company that exists, but they were around in the 60s. They actually invented the flats Have you seen the drum flats? They invented those, and they tune by one key. So, but my drums are a full set, but they actually just tune by one lud. They don't. They tune the whole skin by one lud at the top. It's
Gosh,
yeah.
I've never seen that.
No,
Cool.
nobody who've ever played my kit, they always go,
What's that?
"What's going on with your kit?" So it's that like so like what's happening with your kit?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing drums?
Since I was 14, so 26 years.
Great.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Long time.
Long time.
Yes.
We'll have to teach Kaysha. We'll have to give her a lesson.
I've always wanted to.
I know
It's
you
the
said that.
It's the one instrument I've always wanted to learn.
Fun.
I'm
Do you know
time.
what? Fun.
It's so fun.
And it's also if you ever just feel like, oh, the world is, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Get behind a kit, and like you it literally
I
can
played,
make.
I played a bit when I was a kid.
It's the only reason I got through GCSE maths, to be totally honest, and science. Honestly, honestly.
It's all the counting.
No, I used to come home, my parents would be like, you got to revise now, and I'd be like, 1 second, and I go like in the air tonight, dun, 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 and I just like get it out, and I'm
Done.
like, I'm happy now, I can revise.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it helped me.
Nice.
Have we got any more questions?
I have one question before
Yes.
we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Why are you?
I'm here all day.
All right. Is that because they won't let you go?
And I lucky.
Lock the door.
And I lucky. Why are you moving back to Wales?
Or why did I move back to Wales?
Yeah, why are
You're
you?
coming back.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford it in London
Yeah.
anymore. Like I said, like I couldn't afford it.
Bloody-
I
it's
was,
the same for
I was
everyone.
like I could no. This is I could have afforded it if I wanted to do a 9 to 5
Yeah.
or a job where I was just
Corporate.
corporate working in an
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do that.
No.
And so, like, this is going to sound, I don't mean this in a harsh way. It's a lot like this, and this says something about me, I think, a little bit. It's a lot easier to be a slightly bigger fish in a smaller pond like Wales than it is to be just one of many fish in London.
Yeah.
I was DJing for a while in London. I DJ still now, but I was DJing, and all the places that I was doing anything, suddenly there was a kid with a laptop who was doing it for 40 quid. And like, you know, I can DJ for you. And the thing is, actually, what's really funny for me is a lot of those venues closed down. So I'm just like, yeah, because you didn't care anymore. You know, yes, you might have had to pay more to your DJs, but
You got quality over.
quality over like having a kid DJ for their mates for 5 hours for 40 quid, like brilliant. But they're also and like actually all the time those kids would then just put that 40 quid behind the bar because they'd just be drinking, they'd be drunk, they'd be playing awful, and their music wouldn't be it wouldn't be for everyone.
And then you lose the clients.
And then the clients are like, oh, it's rubbish in there at the moment.
Yeah.
And then they don't go in. And then the people who manage it, they think, oh, well, the DJ's cheap, so we don't have to cut that, but let's cut some of the staff. They think, let's save money, not let's speculate to accumulate. Let's cut money, let's save it, let's cut it out.
That's the same in a lot of places.
Oh, it is, 100%.
When I do the live gigs at the moment, that's the same. You've got younger people coming through now, because I'm probably more of the older guys now that have been doing it for a while. We've got our fee. That's what we are worth. But then you'll have someone come along and be like, I'll do it 50 quid, 100 quid, and I'm like, crack on. But I can guarantee you, when they turn up, people are not going to be happy, and then chances are they won't come back the following week.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? Actually, when did you start performing live?
On stage at 10.
Okay, cool.
Doing theatre till I was around about 16ish. And then live gigs around Welsh Circuit from 16.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And what about you? When did you start doing live stuff, or like kind of, you know, whether it was acting or music?
Yeah, I think I probably started acting first because, you know, the typical like primary school stuff, you know, choir, singing in choirs and stuff like that.
I didn't have any
Or
of that.
as my grandpa Keith would say, he never gets a mention. Hi, Grandpa Keith. You don't even know I do this probably. Bless him.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, he does. I've talked to him about it.
Oh, I'll have to give him a mug. He does like a mug. Anyway, Grandpa Keith says choir. Choir.
Oh, right, choir, yeah.
Choir.
Choir.
Yeah, choir. Choir. But yes, started doing all that stuff. And then I think maybe the music side of things, I did like dance for ages. I've just done loads of different things. I'm so lucky. and then got sent to orchestra, which my sister then, when she finished, called Dorchestra. I was like, you literally
You
just
just
finished last week.
doing it,
She's
right?
like, yeah, but it's Dorchestra now because I don't do any more this year. Anyway,
Right.
Dorchestra I did for many, many, many years. And during that time, because there wasn't, I don't even know if it still exists anymore. I'm going to have to research this. RCT, Rhondda Cynn and Taff Music Service.
Yeah.
Does it
Does.
still exist?
Yeah. I've done
But we
work
used
for
to
them not
have,
that long
like,
ago.
It used to have like an 80 strong choir. Like when I was there, it was
I
like,
don't know that exists.
It was they had a massive orchestra. We had opportunities to go and play in like the Wales Millennium Centre with the National Theatre.
Wow. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was so good. Oh, it frustrates me so much now. But and then during that time I was also involved heavily in brass band, which is where the drumming started coming in.
Okay.
Drum lessons in school, and just slowly kind of crawled my way to active musicianship then, and I was lucky enough to find a course later on that allowed me to still keep up the drumming and the piano and bass, or a little bit of it, and like songwriting, and I've basically somehow I've managed to morph everything into 3 careers that don't pay anything, so that's fun for me.
It's all right. I actually just want to...
It's true though.
Podcast, which is quite a new one, podcast, music and acting.
Yeah.
And none of them
None
are
of them
doing
pay.
me any favours
No.
at the moment.
It's great, isn't it?
I'm putting myself out in every way. And nobody wants to pay.
But you'd
But
be...
it's the thing,
It's
coming
just,
back
but
to
it's
that.
not, isn't it?
Nobody
Just
wants
it
to
doesn't.
pay.
Nobody wants to pay. But it's also just sometimes you just struggle through doing something for you because it's for you that you're doing it. Like when I work in schools, first thing in primary schools especially, first thing kids are you famous? And I'm like no, and they're like oh. Immediately they're like I've gone down in their estimation.
And people think
but
fame is the thing. It's not.
and then
It's not why
immediately
I'm
I
doing
say
it.
to them, you know that music is my job and career though, and actually like to be honest, fame sounds terrifying.
Awful.
Fame sounds
Especially
like the
fame
worst.
now,
Yeah,
with the
Yeah.
amount
Yeah.
of camera clicking and
because we're all sort of famous. Like in
Yeah.
a way, like we all kind of like maybe not at our age, but like especially coming up, that need to photograph everything and to be like like to be interacted with everything.
Yeah.
It's all about chasing that fame thing a little bit, and it's quite scary.
It
I
is
actually just want
terrifying.
to some of your listeners who might be a bit older, and from the valley, my grandfather's from Ebbw
Ebbw
Vale, and
lovely.
he lived in Tredegar. So my dad's from Tredegar, but my grandfather was a strong man. He used to pull buses with his teeth. I'll send you some pictures through, and he used to
just like
and he used to
drop that in when we're about
I
to
know.
his
stop.
name was
We're about to start
his-
the
no, no,
podcast.
Sorry.
his-
Extended edition, Gary.
his name is Georgie Muscles or Strang, Strang the Strong. Now you'd be too young, but people who you were listening, and actually some of your family might just know who he is. So
Yeah.
I'm his grandson. So and he's passed away now, but he was on Blue Peter in the 70s, and he outlifted Jeff Capes, and he was doing like stuff against Jeff Capes.
Shane.
Honestly, crazy family. And like my dad was a singer in a band, which is why we moved to London. And the first time I was ever on stage was when I was 4. I was painted half as a skeleton, and I danced around the stage for 4
Backing
songs.
dance.
For 4 songs. And my dad was like in a psychobilly, like a rock and roll punk band, and there were women on stage whipping my dad's back, right? Like with like a flay thing, right? I'm jumping around. And the girls were like, I only found this out recently, the girls were like threatening to whip me, like in a jokey way, like going like, shouldn't we like whip the thing? And the men were going, do it in the crowd. But that moment of being 4, that's when I knew that all I wanted to do was
That thing.
something. I didn't know what it was. Didn't know what. I thought they'd just paint yourself as a skeleton and running around on stage.
Magic though. We all get this because we started. Let's all say, arguably before 10, we were all doing stuff, right?
Yeah.
That thing that you just described.
Yeah.
That's that thing that can propel artists to carry on making art, but it can also absolutely kill them. I.e., it becomes like a drug that you chase. That kind of.
Yeah.
And I think on the outside perspective, I get it a lot. People think that I want to be famous or like, I don't know. They kind of assume that because of what we do, we're addicted to like the attention
Limelight.
of it.
Yeah.
It's actually absolutely the opposite. If I could get that feeling I get from creating something that's come from you and other people receiving that live, listening to it, messaging me afterwards, anything like that, you say about the one like
Yeah.
thing, the affirmation,
Yeah.
the kind of like somebody out there has gone, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And if that allows you to keep going without the fame stuff that we see in these, it's awful, that kills artists.
Yeah.
Fame kills artists.
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse, there's a 27 Club. There's so many brilliant people that have just gone too far into the other space in this industry and not remembered why they're doing it and like the reasoning for it. I don't know what my point was.
No,
but
I think
I think if we want, I think all of us don't want that. I don't think any
I'd
of
love
us
to be able to go and buy
want
Scottish
that.
tea bags in Lidl. Just go with me without being
I'll try.
recognised. That'd be great.
I think, do you know what is funny?
Genuinely.
I think you're right, and I think actually the thing that we want, and you're like looking, I think when people get famous and they've been chasing that high, I think a lot of the time the reason they turn to other things is because suddenly that high that they were chasing becomes too much,
And it's lonely.
it's no longer
So
the
isolating.
fulfilling thing that it once was. So actually, the 27 Club and like even people who are died older or younger, the reason that happens is because they're like, okay, I just need to feel like that again. And it's actually really sad. Like, you know, it's like, so fame to me sounds horrendous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sounds horrendous.
The fame that I love is holding on, and God, through all the things we talk about on this podcast with funding and gigs being cancelled and all of these things, right, that are constantly, every single day, on the acting side of things for me, the rejections, you didn't get that job, they've just announced a job that I knew I didn't get, but now I've seen who got it, and so I've spent today going, and comparing myself. It's got nothing to do with that. It's absolutely out of my control. It could have been any other reason why I didn't get it other than your shit. But you automatically go, I
I'm
wasn't
shit
as
then.
good as that person, that's why I didn't get the job. Now I'm unemployed again for months. Like,
Yeah.
this happens to us lot every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So when people do say to me, like, oh, God, you're not coming to... I'm trying to be very careful here.
Yeah.
You're not coming to a wedding because of your career. Well, I hope you're doing well then, because you've got to realise that, you know... you're going to miss out on life and you're dedicating almost too much of your time towards all of this. It's like, actually, you don't understand. It's not because I'm trying to be famous.
Yeah.
I have to keep doing this thing. And if I lose sight of what the fame to me, which is the magic we felt when we were younger and we didn't know what it was, you know, not the attention, nothing, that just that feeling that you get on stage or recording in a studio or playing music and you go, oh my gosh, like, it's just I'm just meant to do this. I can't explain it other than I'm just meant to carry on doing this thing. I don't know what it is. If you lose that and it changes to I want to be famous, I think there's a middle ground of actually I just want to be appreciated for and financially appreciated for what I can bring to the table so that I can make a living out of just doing this thing and I haven't got to distract myself with other jobs that I have no interest in doing.
Yeah.
But so bringing it back to the point, because I've gone on a massive tangent there, but it needed to happen. The thing you were just saying about you know, people not paying and youngsters coming in and all of those things. I've got to a point now. It happened to me and Kaysha. We had a gig in the Park and Day quite recently, and I invoiced for a certain amount of money, thinking, right, well they've said they'd pay the artist this, so I'll split it with Kaysha / we'll sort it out amongst ourselves, right? And we were walking out of the building and the person in charge of finances was like, oh, by the way, you've only sent this amount of money. And because I'm so used to begging for any sort of money for any sort of length gig anyway, or expecting bare minimum, or at this point being surprised it's even paid, which is just, oh my God, like, I went, no, it was this amount of money, and it's me who invited Kaysha to be my accompanier / doer and stuff, so I'll sort that with her, don't worry. I don't want to ruin anyone's fun. You know, I was almost apologising for what I've just done. She's next to me going,
I know.
and then this lovely lady, finance lady, was like, no, send me another invoice for the same amount of money and we'll pay you both the same. And I was like, but I don't want to get anyone in trouble. That wasn't the initial thing. I was almost going, no, don't pay me.
I know.
Normally,
I was going.
Shut up.
So I just stepped in and I was like, yeah, do you want me to send the invoice or do you want Caitlin to?
And then I picked up from it and I was like, yes, I will send an invoice for the same amount of money. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But like, really, that amount of money was lovely to be paid, but it still wasn't loads. But I've got to a point now where it's getting so bad. that people are sliding into my DMs, and I'm very grateful for it, and they're going, can you play in this event on this date? And I'm going, it takes every ounce of my being to go, is it paid?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm being cheeky, but
I
have
find it
to
really hard.
remember that this is my only thing that I'm doing.
Exactly.
So if I was in a 9-to-5 office job in London and I was visiting home on the same weekend, they wanted me to sing somewhere for half an hour, probably do it for free. But it's not. It's
I
my
got
only
asked-
thing that I do.
I got asked to play this Newport music trail thing that's going on.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They asked me to play at like 6:30 on a Saturday evening.
Peak time for any other gigs.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not paid. And I went, thank you very much, but unfortunately I didn't know that this wasn't a paid event. Sorry, I'm going to have to take it down. I said, Saturday's my prime thing.
Yeah.
That's where you make your money.
Do I get paid £200 to do one gig?
Locally.
Or come to you
Yeah.
and do a gig for an hour, same thing, for nothing?
Yeah, because the thing is, anyone that could see you and possibly give you a future gig is not going to be at that.
And
They're
I
going to
yeah.
be doing their own thing
I'm like,
somewhere.
I already
Yeah, on a
play
Saturday.
multiple venues in Newport anyway.
Yeah, right.
I was like,
It doesn't further your career,
No.
really. So
No.
for the financial loss, that's not worth it. The only thing I find that gets quite tricky then is sometimes, and that's when people might think, oh, you're doing that for free because it benefits you. And you think, well, yeah.
Well, yeah. There
Yeah.
has to be.
Yeah,
a
that's
bit.
true.
I will come and headline a London venue for the first time in my life with a full band for Bay Min, because
Yeah.
I'm going to reach a mad new audience that I never would reach here.
Yeah.
But sorry, I can't go into a Valley's local workman's club to play a half an hour set on my own for no money.
Yeah.
Like, so I am sorry that that's just
Yeah.
how it is. But if everyone started taking the art seriously in both places, we wouldn't have to make those decisions. If anything, it'd be like, oh, that's a shame. Those two really well-paid gigs clash. What on earth will I do?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, I have to go there because that's paid more.
Yeah.
But that's how
I've got
it's
to weigh it
getting.
up. Like, if they'd asked me for the Friday night, I probably could have gone, well, actually,
Yeah,
okay,
'cause
I'll
you
do
can
it for the
make
Friday night. Because Saturday, I can guarantee a gig
Right.
anyway for the fee I want.
Yeah.
Whereas a Friday, I could possibly go, okay, I could gig, I could make my own mind up then
Yeah.
about gigging. But a Saturday, I've got a gig.
Yeah.
I've got to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what that event is. It has to be paid.
Yeah.
I have to pay bills.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a lovely place to wrap it up.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
we could probably go for
Oh
another
my gosh,
hour.
We didn't even get into your travelling.
No,
or your-
nothing.
No,
My
we'll
God.
just have to come back.
Definitely.
Yes.
Love to.
I'd love to have
Thank
you
you
back.
so much.
Good
No
luck.
worries. Thank you very much for having a
Good luck
conversation
with the
with me.
album release. We will, we'll do a big push for you.
Oh,
on
that'd
be-
the
that
socials.
would be amazing. Thank you so much.
I'll,
Thank you.
Stories and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'll play it on Lavagne's Welsh Hour
Oh,
as
amazing.
well.
That would be
so
awesome.
that'd be,
Thank you.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
lots
give
to
it a
talk
share.
about as well for the radio as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, amazing. Thank
You're
you
a
so much.
fabulous guest.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for our
Thank you.
merch.
You're very
Can
welcome.
people get this, or have you got new merch coming
I've got
out?
new merch coming out. You'll be able to check it out on my Insta, my socials. It's at Sheldon The Rapper everywhere. So
I'm going to wear this today to rehearsals to warm up, and people will be like, what's that? And they'll be like, well, let me tell you about my day. Let me tell you about my day. This is lovely. Thank you so much.
you're very welcome.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Caroline, for the tea.
Yes, thank you so much.
There we are.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.